So hello YouTube, welcome back. It's CalFX here and I'm back with another one. So in today's video we will talk about a nice swing strategy that I have here for you guys, which is the 4-hour and M15 swing entry model. So this is a strategy that is more suitable for those people that have a 9 to 5. And basically, the reason why I made this video is because I know some of you guys have jobs, right, 9 to 5, but also want to be able to make the money that can be made from trading. To be honest, I mean, the truth of the matter is that you really don't need lower time frames in order to make money in these markets, right? You can still trade low medium time frames along with the higher time frames and hold the job, right? Some people love their jobs, right? I really understand. So that's why I made this video for you guys. So if you really want to trade lower time frames, you can, but you will need more time to monitor each candle. But just using the 4-hour and M15, you're able to trade absolutely profitable, right? You can be profitable and hold your job that you really love. So I made this video specifically for you guys that have a 9 to 5, but also want to be able to trade profitably, right? So before I get into the video, guys, let's smash the like button, show some support on the comments, and let's get right into it. So before we actually dive into the trades itself, let's just quickly understand this schematic, because this is just the basic, schematic that I have surrounding the 4-hour and M15 swing entry model. So basically what you want to see is just, you want to have a 4-hour break of structure, right? So you want to be able, on the charts, you go to 4-hour, you see a 4-hour break of structure to the upside or to the downside, you mark the order block, and then you wait for price to come back to that order block. And once price comes to your 4-hour point of interest, which is the order block, you are going to wait for M15 change of candle. So you will just drop down to M30 or M15. So you go there to M15, you wait for one break of structure. This is what we call the change of character. So you want to see a change of character to the downside, and then you set a limit order. Now the detail that is very important is, if the change of character, if price gives you a change of character, but it's not clean, it doesn't have imbalances, right, between the candles, right, the break is not very strong, I will recommend to wait for the second break of structure. That's going to be, have higher probability. But if the first break of structure is very clean, as a very clean order block, you can just set a limit order at the order block and target the 4-hour low, right? So this is just that type of confirmation entry that you see the M15, you set the limit order and forget it. You just set the TP to 4-hour, or you can even set a TP1 on the M15 low. So if we actually see an example that you can do that, very very profitable. But this is the first entry type, is you want to see a M15 change of character once price taps your 4-hour. The second one is, what I was talking about. If the first break of structure is not clean, you don't have a very clean order block, there is no imbalances in between, then wait for price to give you the second break of structure. Usually you're going to have a very clean second break of structure. That's when you set your limit order, you put your stop loss just above this previous high. So in this scenario, for example, you would just set your limit order here, you could put a stop loss above this previous high right here, or you can give a nice buffer above the order block, right? So if you really want to have a good risk to reward ratio, and then your target can be the next M15 low. This can be the TP1. But the long-term target is to see price continue all the way down to your 4-hour. So also, if you're able to include the daily higher time frame directional bias into the setup, much better. You can just use the daily structure low or high as the last TP, right? So this is just simple, guys. Let's keep it very simple. 4-hour break of structure, we mark the order block, then we set alert and we wait for price to come back. Once price comes back to our 4-hour point of interest, we drop down to M15 or M30 time frame and we look for that change of character. Once we have the first break, we set the limit order. If the first break is not clean, very important detail right here. If it's not clean, it doesn't have imbalances, it doesn't have it didn't have a strong volume on the break, you wait for price to give it that second break. Usually it does give you a very strong break of structure to the downside, the second one, and then you set your limit order, stop loss, just give a nice buffer above just to cover the spreads, right? And then you target the 4-hour structure, right? Previous structure high or previous structure low. Now, also, you can, if you, for example, if you see the 4-hour break of structure to the downside, for example, in this scenario, you can say, okay, I want to be able to ride the counter trend, that bullish order flow towards the 4-hour, right? Some people may be a little bit impatient and don't want to wait all the way. So what you can do is say, okay, once price is here, I'm going to look for M15 to change structure, right? So it will go from bearish to bullish, right? So you drop down to M15. Once the 4-hour break of structure is complete, you wait for M15 structure to turn bullish, right? So you have the first break of structure, allow price to mitigate. I wouldn't recommend to trade just one M15 break. Wait for the second break, especially because this is a counter trend. So you want to have that confirmation that the structure has shifted from bearish to bullish. So right here, you have the second break. That's when you have this order block right here, and you set your limit order at this order block and target all the way to the POI. And then once price comes here, you do the exactly same thing, just a change of character. We set the limit order and we write the pro trend, right? So that's just simple as that. Now let's hop on the examples right here that I have for you guys, and let's do a chart walkthrough. So the first example that I have is here on EUR-USD, and if we just quickly look, I mean, we don't really need to do, we don't need to guess too much here. We just look at the daily time frame. We can clearly see that the structure is bullish right here. We just had this beautiful break of structure to the upside. Price came back, mitigated the order block responsible for the break, and then we had the second break of structure to the upside. Now, our main intention is say, okay, if price just broke structure to the upside, what will give is, and this is on the daily time frame. So if the daily broke structure to the upside, what is it that we need to see that will tell us that the daily is ready to do a pullback towards this order block sitting below? The answer is we need the 4-hour to change structure. So we need the 4-hour change of character, and then we can drop down to 15 M15, or we can wait for 4-hour to give us 2 breaks of structure to the downside. But usually we just need that 4-hour change of character. That's the first sign that the daily is ready to do a pullback. So here what we're going to do, we drop down to the 4-hour time frame. So here we are on the 4-hour time frame, and if we look at it, we just want to see a change of character right here to the downside. So we can quickly read structure. So let me just zoom in. So if we look at it, we can clearly see that, okay, price had made this structure high, and then we made this low before they actually made this high right here. So we can see that we had actually a body closure above this previous structure high. But then what happened? Price pulled back into the demand zone. So we were expecting to see price to continue to push up to maintain the bullish order flow. But then what happened? This low got violated right here. So this was a beautiful 4-hour change of character. So let me just mark right here. This right here was the break of structure. Very, very clean break of structure right here. So what is the order block? We can clearly see that price came down and then it pulled back. It was attempting to push up, but then the sellers came in, pushed price all the way down, taking out this previous low. So we can clearly see that the order block is here somewhere here, right? We could go on the low time frame, such as 2 hours, for example, to look for a nice candle. Let me just go to 1 hour, for example. I think we can find, oh, we have this very, very, very clean right here, order block right here. We can use this one right here. So price came perfectly into this order block right here. So now this was the 4-hour change of character. So as we know, once price comes to our 4-hour, what do we need to see? M15. We want to drop down to M15, look for confirmation, and we take the trade. We're not going any lower than that. Just 4-hour M15, that's all we need, right? So we come here to M15, and we can read structure. We can clearly see that, okay, price had made this high and then it pulled back. This actually is not a solidified low, but this actually was a low because this candle went below and then price ended up pushing up to break this previous structure high. But what we want to see from here, right, is that we actually had a demand reaction here. Price came down, right, attempted to push up, but what happened? Price was failing, was struggling to give us a high. Then what happened? We had the break of structure to the downside. Now the question here was this break of structure very clean? we can clearly see that we really don't have that much imbalance. Pretty much the price action here was efficient. So we can say, okay, if this was the first break and it's not clean, let's allow price to come back, mitigate it, and then we're going to look for the second break of structure, because we want clean breaks that leave a very clean order block with imbalance. So price broke structure right here. We can see a lot of confusion here, right? So price broke structure and then it came back, and then what happened? Price gave us the second break of structure. So up to this point on the M15, the structure was confirmed. We've shifted from bullish to bearish. So 4-hour point of interest mitigation, guys, and then we drop down to M15. We wait for M15. One break. If it's not clean, the first break, we wait for the second. And that's what we have right here. We have this strong break of structure to the downside. We have clear imbalances sitting above, right? So we can say, okay, this was the first break, price mitigated. So then we give second break of structure. We have this one right here. And this right here is our entry right here. Soon as we have this order block, guys, we set the limit order right here. We give a stop loss above right here. We can just give a 10 pip stop loss just to give a round number. So right here, that's where our entry is. So what is our target? This was the 4-hour break of structure to the downside. We want this 4-hour low. This can be the first TP, right? This TP right here. This can be the first TP. Because if we just target the M15 low, this is going to be a 1 to 1.5. It may not be enough for a lot of people. So this right here is a very nice 1 to 3, just the first TP, right? So we want price to come down all the way to this 4-hour. So let me just quickly play price right here for you guys to see. So price comes, right? It takes us into the trade. Once price breaks below this M15 low right here, we are break even, right? And we can see that the TP right there was smashed. So let me just quickly bring price. So let me just wait for price to stop a little bit. Yeah, I think it stopped. So let's just drop down to 4-hour. Let's go up to 4-hour. So what was our target, as we were actually doing previously, is to bring price to this daily demand zone right here. That was the main intention that we saw. Once price had broken structure to the upside on the daily, we wanted to wait for 4-hour change of character. 4-hour gave a break of structure. We went down to M15. We had an M15 entry. So our last target is to see price come all the way down to the daily right here. So if you guys watch my last previous video, I actually talked about how to trade with directional bias. I'll actually link the video right here for you guys to watch. Very, very important. But this right here is how you align the medium time frame with the high time frame intention. Daily broke structure to the upside. We wanted to ride the daily pull back towards its bullish order block sitting right here. So we needed the 4-hour change of character. Then at 4-hour point of interest, we went to M15. We looked for 2 breaks of structures on M15. One break of structure could have been enough, but because the first one wasn't clean, we needed the second. Now let's play price to see if price actually came all the way down. So we can clearly see the price just pushing, beautifully, right? All the way to the downside right here. And we can see the move right there. And price just smacked the TP right there, and it did justice, right? Price just came to that daily demand zone. So this is how, this is perfectly how we trade the medium time frame in alignment with the higher time frame. So the whole picture right there was done, right? So let's move to the next example. So the next example is going to be on Aussie dollar. So quickly, let's just look at Aussie dollar from the weekly time frame, just to quickly do a breakdown on this one. We can clearly see that this was the weekly is absolutely bearish. We had the break of structure, pull back, break, price came to this supply zone, and then we had a change of character and second break of structure. Price now came to the extremity right here, because here we have actually a daily supply zone. So let me just quickly go to the daily time frame. So we can see that we had this bullish candle right here, and then price broke structure to the downside. Price came all the way up. So price then came down and gave this change of character right here. This actually was on a 4-hour. So if we go to 4-hour, we can clearly see that we had this previous structure high right here. This structure high, then the low, then price made this high, and then we had a change of character right there, boom, to the downside. Price came all the way up to this previous to this extreme supply zone, and our expectation was to see price continue to move all the way down, right, to take out this previous low. So if we look at what's going on at this point right here, is that price came, it actually had this previous structure low. We can see it had this low and then this high, and then price made this low, right? But then what happened? Price came above and failed to close above right here, this previous high. And you guys already know, when price fails to close above, this is a sign that the bullish sentiment is in depletion. So we can see that price actually came aggressively, but it failed to close above. Sellers came in, pushed price all the way down right here, creating the break of structure. And actually, that's what we want. We wanted to see a break of structure to the downside because the weekly and the daily is bearish. So right here, we had this beautiful point of interest right here, right? So let me just mark this right here as our break of structure, right? Because this was the first, was the break of structure that we had. So this is going to be boss right here. Now, what do we want to see? We want to see price coming back into this 4 hour, and then we drop down to M15. Simple as that. So let's just play price right here. So price is making its way up, right? So price just got into our point of interest. I mean, I think it went too fast there. So let me just bring price here. So price comes to our 4 hour supply zone. So what do we want to see? We want to see M15 change of character. So once price comes to 4 hour, we drop down to M15. Now, once we come here, if you ask yourself, okay, is the structure still bullish or bearish? I mean, it's clearly visible right here that the structure is still bullish. So we have this previous structure high, price then pulled back, and then it made this high. But then what happened right here? Price was struggling to break above. So let's see if price ended up closing above or it gave a break of structure to the downside. So let's just play price a little bit. Okay, boom, we have a break of structure to the downside. So we have a great confluence here is that price actually failed to close above a previous high. Bullish sentiment in the market in depletion. And we have this high right here, very clean order block. So this is that scenario that this is what I say on the previous EUR-USD case, is that if the first break of structure is not clean, wait for price to give you the second. On this scenario right here, we have a very clean first break of structure. So this right here is my limit order right here. We can set a limit order right here, just right here. And then we can give a nice buffer. I mean, we can just say, okay, we can go with a 7 pip stop loss. Right, let's just give a round number, 7 pips stop loss, right? I think it would just give a nice buffer, right, to cover the spreads as well. So we have a nice break of structure right there. And where is our target? We want to see price actually coming all the way down to take out this 4 hour previous structure low right here. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So we want price to take out this 4 hour low right here. This is the long-term target. So you can just take parcels at the next M15 low. I mean, that's what I would personally recommend. I think all the way here you would have had a 1 to 4, which is a very, very good risk to reward ratio. But long-term, we want to see price coming all the way down to 4 hour at least, right? So let me just play price. This is the M15 change of character within the 4 hour. So we get tagged into the trade right there. Price broke structure on the M15 here. We move the position to break even. We can also take partials right there. But our target right here, we want to bring price to 4 hour time frame right here. So let me just quickly play price and see what happened. So price comes, I mean, beautifully all the way down. I mean, let's just see if price closes below. I mean, it just hit the TP right there. So we bring price to 4 hour. Let's go up to 4 hour time frame. And our main target actually is to see price come all the way down to this low right here, right? We want, because that's the main high time frame intention. We want to see price come all the way down because the weekly is bearish, right? So let's just also target this previous structure low right here. This would have been a beautiful 1 to 31, right? I mean, this is just a great risk to reward ratio, guys. So let me just quickly play price. I mean, it's just dropping beautifully. The target was hit right there, right? So we can clearly see that the 1 to 31 was hit. You could just still hold that trade, take your partials, I mean, secure the money, right? So If I bring price all the way down, we want to see also price. Let me just go to the daily time frame. And we know on the daily, we want to see price to take out this daily low right here also, right? This can be the next target. And because we started on the weekly, we want to see finally price taking out this weekly. So this is how you align the medium time frame with the higher time frame. You just need 4-hour and 15. Just get a clear picture of the daily, that's all. And then you stick with the 4-hour and 15, and you guys can clearly see you can have a very good risk to reward ratio without going to lower time frames. There is no need to go there, right? So if you just keep playing price, and we can clearly see that price currently is making its way all the way down to this daily previous structure low, right? So right now it's still, running at 1:45. That's a beautiful risk to reward ratio right there, right? So I hope the point was clear on this example. Let's move on to the last one. So the last example is going to be on New Zealand dollar, and similarly to Aussie dollar, let's just quickly go to weekly time frame. So if we look at the weekly, we can clearly see that New Zealand dollar, the bias is bearish. We just had a beautiful break of session to the downside, pulled back, second break, price came to the extremity of this supply zone, and then gave a nice change of character right here on the weekly. Now, this right here actually refined this weekly point of interest to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, so price, we can clearly see that price used this high right here as inducement, swept these relative equal highs into a daily supply zone. So as we already know, once price comes to the daily supply zone, we want to drop down to the 4-hour, right? So we can clearly see the picture from the daily. What's the intention? Is to bring price all the way down to this daily low and maintain the bearish order flow. So we drop down to 4-hour, price just tapped our daily. So we come to 4-hour. So the question is, okay, price had broken this previous structure high. What was responsible for that break? It was this low right here. This was the decisional low, the pullback that finally pushed all the way up to break this previous structure high. So what we can see here is something very interesting, is that we had this demand zone right here, because this actually was the last down candle before the up move, right? So this is actually a very significant zone. That's why when price came here, we had this reaction right here, right? You had this pullback. But then what happened? This demand zone didn't hold, right? Price just broke structure to the downside right here. So this is what we call demand to supply flip, right? That's actually the exchange of hands from the bulls to the bears, right? So we just had a very nice break of structure right here. We can say, okay, this right here was the violation of that demand zone. So if we look at the structure right here, we can see that this was a low, the high, then price broke structure and it made the new low. So what was responsible for that? We have a very clean order block right here on the 4-hour. This very, very clean order block. So we can just mark this point of interest right here. Right, so this right here is our 4-hour point of interest right here. So we have a 4-hour break of structure to the downside. What do we need? Just M15. Let's just drop down to M15 and read the structure. We just need the break on M15 and we're going to hit it, right? So price comes here to our 4-hour supply zone. So what do we have? We actually had this previous structure high and then this low. So what we want to see is, if price is going to continue the bullish order flow, is going to take out the previous high. If not, it's going to take out this low. Simple as that. So let's just wait to see what price did. So let me just play price right here a little bit. Let's move. So it keeps playing. Okay, good. We had a nice change of character right here, right? We just saw that price. Let me just quickly go back right here. So we can see that price had made this previous structure high and then this low. If it was going to continue the bullish order flow, it would have taken this previous high. But what happened? Price actually failed to do that. So this was the sign of bullish sentiment in the market depletion, high reluctancy, and then price took out this low. That's when the bears actually took control over the markets. So we had a beautiful break of structure right here. So let me just say this right here was the break of structure. Boss right here. So boom, we have a break of structure. Where is my... Isn't this the first break of structure clean? It is clean, so I can take the trade from this order block right here. So I'll put my limit order right here. And my stop loss, it can be I can just give a nice 8 pip stop loss. I mean, I think it would have been very, very good, just an 8 pip stop loss right here. And where is our target? We can target the next M15 low, this low right here. This is a very good target. This can be a 1 to 2, but if it's not enough, right, we still have the higher time frame in our favor. So we can target this structure lows right here, all of these weak lows right here. This can be a target. So right here we can say that, okay, we want to take out this low as well right here. This can just be TP, right? So let me just zoom out a little bit more, and we want to take out this low right here, right? This 4 hour right here. So M15, we got tagged into the trade right there. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So we got tagged into the trade. We will only move to break even once price break structure below this M15 low, and then we will just take TPs right here, right? So let me just play price. We get tagged into the trade. Okay, came again. So let's just see. Okay, comes back again. Okay, boom. Price took out that low. We went to break even. TP was smashed right here. We can see that the first target, which was the M15 low, was taken. This low right here was also grabbed. Let's just keep playing price, right? And as you guys can clearly see, I mean, this is just beautiful risk to reward ratio trade. You don't need lower time frame, just 4 hour M15, simple, right? All these lows are being liquidated, right? We want to see price come all the way down to this 4 hour. So let's just play price. Price does a nice pullback right there, and we see price come all the way down. Boom, target was hit. So we want to go back to our daily time frame, because that's where we actually had our outlook, right, from the daily as well. So let me just quickly go to the daily time frame. Let me just use the 4 hour a little bit. I think I can use I can move to the right. Okay, boom. Okay, great. So we want to take our high time frame intention. Our high time frame intention is to bring price all the way down to this daily structure low right here, right? This is what we want to see. Also, we can target these lows right here. These are just everything right here. This is just weak lows, right? Because we have the high time frame in our favor. We saw that the weekly is bearish, daily is bearish, 4 hour gave a break of structure to the downside. We went to M15, was also bearish. We just took an entry right there, and we want to take out all these lows right here. So let's just keep playing price. I mean, price just started to do justice right there, man. Push all the way down. I mean, this is just a great swing trade. Set and forget. Just set your TPs. I mean, take your money, right? You can still hold your job, right? I mean, if you look at what price did just right now, price liquidated the daily right here. So if you go back to the daily time frame, which was our intention, price just did justice right there, just took out the daily. So our expectation is to see price come all the way down and take out this weekly previous structure low right here. And also this monthly low, if I go to the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that the idea is to ride price all the way down right here, because we had the break mitigation, second break. We expect price to come all the way down and take out this week monthly previous structure low. So YouTube, I hope you guys found this video to be helpful. If it was, make sure to hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Show some love in the comments. And guys, don't forget I have the 2 months membership where we actually have in more detail on this model as well as the other models. And we can actually build a sound trading plan that best suits your time availability and your trading goals. So if you're interested in that, feel free to hit my DM. My contact is on the description box below, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.